global reserves is withering away. So again, it's the reserve currency. What does that mean? It's the reserve. So what we can see in the dollar's place, going back here to about 2015, about 10 years ago, we are around almost 60% of reserves. And today, the withering away has seen it go down to about 40%. So that's happened in a decade. It's pretty quickly. At the same time, we're going to come back to this, but at the same time, look at gold picking up here. Almost to 50%. We're seeing a structural transition happening right in front of our very eyes. Now, again, why does this happen? I've sort of already explained that, but adverse American foreign policies and tariffs. That's it, right? Weaponization of economic sanctions and the SWIFT system. The SWIFT system is the payment system around the world, has forced other nations to de-dollarize, to get away from the dollar, find another way to do business, to maintain their sovereignty, because they don't want to continue to get sanctions slapped on you. And also there's emergence of other nations as power centers. And so the U.S. was the dominant power center of the world, but now there's other power centers. Economic and political reforms in countries like China and India. A shift toward de-dollarization is altering the global balance of power, right? And so as more countries want to get off of that, it says here, as of 2025, U.S. dollar is still dominant. It's still the dominant one in foreign exchange markets, 88%. All right, so that's in the FX markets. However, trade invoicing is only 40%. Cross-border liabilities, 48%. Those are below 50%. We can see here declining in the foreign currency reserves from 90% in 1960 to 45% in 2023. That's a massive decline, as you can see. The bond market from earlier 50%, now 30% in 2024. Yes, it's still the dominant one, but it's falling very, very rapidly for all the reasons that I've given you. Now, again, the response to this isn't just the pressure, it's risk management. They can't just be cut off from the world. Nations need energy. They need food. They need to trade. So where does it go next? All right. We've heard a lot of different things, but I have one that you probably haven't heard of that I think is going to be the dominant new network that's challenging. So again, it's just risk management. And again, if you run a country, the trade has to settle. You have to be able to pay. And so then you have to start diversifying. Okay, but who? So we talked about the dollar was the dominant payment network, partly because of trust, a big piece because of trust and how that trust is degrading. So the problem is, who else can we trust? We've heard a lot about, I've talked about on this channel quite a bit, BRICS. So this is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa forming a coalition and doing trade between themselves. And there's been endless talk about a BRICS currency. So they'll come together, they'll create their own currency to challenge the US bloc, and they'll have some sort of a currency